Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters here on France 24. In this edition, Naples, the Italian city most associated with the MAFIA crime syndicate, is clearing out their heartland, a housing project in the north of the city that used to be the drug crossroads of Europe. Now with the main dealers locked up, things are beginning to change. Our reporter REMI CADORET joins us. REMI, positive change, but is it fair to say the old ways are still present?
Indeed, the Camorra has been weakened by a decade of drug bust and police investigation. And many bosses actually have been arrested, as well as their foot soldiers. But still the problems are there in Scampia. 70% of the population is unemployed, and there's a lack of investment in the city. So there's a new generation of drug dealers actually that are trying to set foot in Scampia. They're usually minors, they're very violent and very hard to control.
Remy, thank you. Let's take a look now at Remy's report.
Scampia, a suburb of Naples. These high-rise buildings that became a symbol of the Camorra, the Neapolitan Mafia, are known as the Vele, sales in Italian. 30 years ago, more than 5,000 families lived in this crime-ridden housing project. Drug dealing, racketeering and prostitution were the daily life for a whole generation.
At first, we used to have a real good time here. We would play hide and seek right here behind these walls.
Davide CERRULO grew up in the Vele.
When we got here back in 1982, everything still looked good, new. But then, after 4 or 5 years, things began to change. Heroin, cocaine, hashish started coming in, and everything changed.
When he was 10, he was already running heroin packets for the dealers.
I got my first gun when I was 14 years old, and I was earning 500 euros a day. So that's more than 15,000 euros a month. And then I did my first stint in prison. I was 16 years old. I got shot when I was 17. I spent 40 days in hospital. My bones were shattered. And it's the mafia who did that.
After several years in prison, Davide came back to live in the sales. But today, he has swapped his gun for a camera. His photos tell the story of daily life for the children in this lawless environment.
That's 2 brothers playing at shooting each other in the Vele Celeste of Scampia. Today, they're 19 and 21 years old, and they've become pizzaiolo. Unfortunately, there are others who have turned out badly and who are in prison with long sentences.
Davide rejects the idea that living in the sales means your future is preordained. He has created a space in the heart of the district where children can come and play, read and learn. Since the decision was taken to demolish the sales, the local council has stopped maintaining the buildings. But 200 families still live here, like YAMIN's.
Who's this here? You're not at school today. Yes, you're going. Let's go. Hurry up. It's raining.
It's slippery.
If it's slippery, be careful. Go slowly.
The Vele apartments are connected by walkways. A labyrinth which made life easy for the Camorra and all types of trafficking.
Andiamo ragazzi.
In the sales, no one pays rent anymore.
Here we are at the 6th floor.
When an apartment gets too insalubrious, you just choose another one.
I lived 8 years in the green sale next door, and 6 months ago I moved to this building. And here we are. Please come in.
Ok, mo lo chiudo.
Over a few months,
Ecco qua.
And this is our
Queste
house.
sono le nostre case.
and making do with what he could find, YAMIN completely renovated his apartment.
Questa qua la camera.
This is the bedroom that I decorated myself.
Fa sempre da me.
I wanted to give it a traditional look.
Di antico, ok.
Nobody here has electricity. Each home has to take the risk of hooking up to a general transformer. And yet, despite everything, YAMIN feels at home.
E dico qua, dicevo, no?
We're trying to make the apartment look as welcoming as possible.
Come vedete, non,
As you can see, the Vele are still standing,
ancora in piedi le vele. Ok, io spero che saranno ancora.
and I hope they'll still be here for as long as possible.
Ok, perché io
Because
mi
I've
sto
always
sempre
felt
trovato
good in
bene,
these buildings.
Diciamo in questi veli qua. E poi
And look,
guarda,
my home.
bella.
It's a lovely home.
Bella la casa.
Over the last 10 years, 90% of the mafia families of Scampia have been put behind bars.
Ora ci sono più ragazzi perché tutti
Now,
i
there are a lot of young
i
ones
camorristi sono stati arrestati.
because the
O
big
arrestati
mafia
o uccisi.
bosses are
Quindi
all
il
in
profilo
prison
del
or have been
camorrista
killed.
oggi è cambiato. Prima c'era un camorrista
Before, it would have been
che
one
ovviamente
or several
gestiva la
families
situazione.
who
C'era
controlled the
uno
neighbourhood
uno o più
with
famiglie che
authority.
gestivano, in maniera autoritaria.
But that
Oggi
model has
questo è venuto meno.
disappeared.
Oggi ci sono
Now
più
it's
ragazzi
youngsters
che cercano di
who want to make a name for
scalare
themselves
le vette della camorra,
and climb
cercano
up
di
the
entrare
mafia
nel più
hierarchy.
breve tempo possibile. Questo da qualche
That
parte
causes
crea
big problems
enormi difficoltà perché
because
sono
they
più
are
incontrollati
uncontrollable.
e incontrollabili rispetto a quelle che era la camorra di prima.
They're known as baby bosses, often just teenagers. They use violence and murder to take control of the territories they claim as theirs. These new faces of the Camorra have little in the way of organisation. This morning, in the police station of Scampia,
Tu vieni con voi.
You two team up in one car, and I'll go with Angelo and we'll meet up there.
Poi vi raggiungiamo.
officers are preparing a surprise raid.
Buongiorno centro, in uscita 2 unità per lo stadio.
Most of the police officers from Scampia speak the Neapolitan dialect.
Nella 13 chiamata?
Several teams surround a building
Centro, la 14, ma penso sia lo stesso.
and move in simultaneously.
Controllo del cesso, signore.
Police check, sir.
How much you've got in your pockets?
They've caught a young dealer.
Is that all you've got on you?
The officers search for the hidden drugs
Look under there.
and find them pretty quickly. 10 years ago, Scampia was the biggest supermarket for drugs in Europe, controlled by the big Camorra families. This graffiti shows that this building belonged to the Abbinante family.
Vincenzo Brandi, Costantino Rai, Alessandro De Falco, tutti accusati.
But with the bosses in prison, it's the new generation that's in charge now.
I visti sono oscurati, no? Come? È minorenne, c'è oscurazione.
He's a minor. He's 16. Hashish,
Marijuana.
marijuana, and the money from the sales.
He's taken down to the police station, where he'll be sent to juvenile court if he's a repeat offender and could be imprisoned. Eirola prison on the outskirts of Naples is for underage offenders. There are 24 inmates.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
And you?
15.
I'm 24.
Tattooed, dressed in branded tracksuits. Some are the children of imprisoned Camorra bosses. There's graffiti on the canteen wall. Gianni is clearly proud of his origins, one of the sales in Scampia. Airola is already known as the baby boss prison.
They're here for theft, attempted homicide, or murder. The longest sentence is 16 years for a youngster who's just turned 18.
The Airola inmates can choose to stay until their 25th birthday, after which they are automatically transferred to an adult prison. In the heart of Scampia, opposite the police station, is Gianni Maddaloni's judo gym, open 7 days a week. Children of the local police mix freely with children of the mafia.
There are a lot of children whose parents are in prison, and I train them for free, or whose parents have separated. And so we mix those kids with other kids who come from more stable families without problems, so they can only improve. And more than just teaching them how to fight, I teach them about values.
Over the years, Gianni has won a lot of judo competitions, but it's off the tatami mat that he counts his greatest victories against the Camorra. Francesco started coming here when he was 12.
Okay, everybody back to the wall. Cristinao, come in the middle. All of you, watch this.
His father and brothers are in prison with long-term sentences for drug trafficking.
I was so tempted by the money, because there was a lot of money around. In Naples, there's a proverb that says money makes blind people see. But luckily, I met people who helped me get back on the right track. Today, to be part of this club that has won so many trophies, that has trained so many champions, well, that just shows there is hope, even in this neighbourhood.
You can see what it is the authorities are hoping to achieve. By destroying the last remaining Vele tower blocks, they hope to erase the past. But what of those who still live there and have nowhere else to go? Ignore their future, and Scampia's problems could be self-perpetuating.
With that report, Remy still with us. Thank you for that real insight into Naples, Remy. Scampia, the district in question, was constructed to give the residents of the slums a better way of life. What happened?
Well, actually, some of the money that was supposed to be for the apartments was diverted, and so they started being run down. And in 1980, a huge earthquake struck Naples, and a lot of people moved in as squatters. That's when the mafia actually took control of the city. And that's where, for instance, Davide became one of the foot soldiers of the mafia, because as he was saying, it was easy money. And also, there was a sense of pride to be part of the Camorra, as he explains.
The Camorra would give us what the state never did. The Camorra provided us with support during our childhood, giving us dignity. And that dignity came before our own rights. The boss was a fatherly or brotherly figure. The boss, he was my family.
Someone from the actual area, spoken to, of course, by Remy, who's still with us. Remy, in terms of what the residents are saying about the destruction or the planned destruction of the Vele, what's their reaction been to this?
It's a mixed feeling because they actually like the architecture of the buildings and they would like them to be refurbished. Nevertheless, the city has decided to tear down 4 of those buildings and they will be out of apartments. Most of those people, they don't have the means to pay rent, and some of them actually are illegals. They don't have any papers, so there's no hope actually to be relocated.
Indeed, what happens to those people, of course, is a really big question. The other burning question as well is the role of the mafia, because as we've discussed, there is a continuation of this kind of criminality. There is a continuation of the people who want to get rich quick by illegal means. And obviously a continued combat against this. Is that combat working?
It's very difficult to eradicate the mafia. It's been in Naples and around since the 19th century. So it's part of the life and the city and the way things run in Naples. To give you an example, 4,000 to 7,000 people actually are members of the different clans of the mafia. And they get rich only through this kind of racketeering, drug trafficking, and they control a lot of the suburbs of Naples. For instance, when you arrive in Naples, in the airport is in a suburb that is controlled by the mafia.
Remi CADORET, thank you very much indeed. You can see Remi's report again via our website, france24.com. This is Reporters on France 24. Stay with us.